What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. Today, doing a review of the reaction video, which is the immediate reaction. Talking about the fight itself, and the review is just reviewing everything that the media, other boxers say, and everything that happens after the fight. So that's the difference if there are any confusions about it. And Errol Spence did it yesterday, man. It wasn't easy early. Kell had a lot of his moments, but Errol Spence proved to be a different breed, a different caliber of fighter. He gets stronger as the fight goes on, and that's like one of the best attributes you can have. And he has what appears to be an iron chin as well. And he passed his first test. There should be no more questions about the legitimacy of this guy when it comes to being a legit world-class fighter. I think he's most definitely answered all of the questions I have as being a legitimate world-class fighter. And he got a lot of love after the fight from Des Bryant, Deion Sanders, Damian Lillard, the Dallas Mavericks shouted out him. And 3 fighters actually called Kell Brook a quitter. Gervonta Tank Davis said, "How can you quit in front of 27,000 fans with only 2 rounds to go?" Chris Spence Jr. put his 2 cents in and called him a quitter. And Terence Crawford said basically he quit. And I don't ever want to see them guys quit. Anything similar fashion to that, where they could have get up and continue fighting, or anything, any inklings of them quitting or not showing 100% effort from those 3 fighters, I will blast their ass in their personal social media. I will blast their ass for days, because at the end of the day, this man had a broken orbital bone the first time with Triple G. Then he breaks his other orbital bone. So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't care if Crawford, Tank Davis, Chris Spence Jr. shoulder or their arm completely severs off their motherfucking shoulder socket. I don't want to hear it. Oh, I couldn't continue. Oh, it hurts so bad. I don't want to hear nothing from them, because you can't throw stones when you live in a glass house. Period. That man Kell Brook left everything he had in the ring. You know what I mean? If a fan's like, "Oh, you quit, you quit." Some of y'all fans, the same fans that get punched in the mouth in the street and take off and run up the street. You know what I mean? They have zero heart. So I'm not calling this man a quitter. He tried. The round he got knocked down, he came back with his own onslaught. So at the end of the day, for these people talking shit, especially them boxers that's talking shit about it, we'll see. We'll see. You better not ever quit in that square circle. And I'm gonna blast them, because at the end of the day, man, somebody's gonna tell you what type of pain threshold you got. And you better be held to a higher caliber than that. But as far as, Errol, he did his thing. He showed that he had an iron chin. He showed some defense there. A lot of people want to see his defense continue to get shored up. But I think he is who he is, The guy was like, "You always can shore up defense." Yeah, you always can. But how many boxers do you see get better defensively if they step up in competition? Not a lot. He is who he is. He's going to block shots with his gloves. He's going to keep his head straight there. He's going to use his feet to avoid people, and that's who Errol Spence is. And then you got Keith Thurman. Congratulations to Errol Spence Jr., if you know what EJ meant. But there is no true champion until you see me. And it's true. But Errol comes back. I'm not with all the talking, Keith one time, Thurman. Let's do it. Strap season, man down, line them up. So, Errol Spence said he's going to fight, whoever he got to fight. And it don't like he moving up no time soon. And these two on the collision course, Keith said he'll be back before the end of the year. Will he take a voluntary fight is my question. A warm-up fight, which will be voluntary. And how long would the WBC allow Keith Thurman to, scave off his mandatory and Sean Porter is the question. They knocked Amir Khan off the top 10 as well. But as far as, Errol and Keith, man, I think it has to happen next. Errol said he has no intentions on another 9-month layoff, no more layoff. He said if, he can want to wait for Keith, but, he ain't going to wait forever. And I guess he wants to jump back in the ring fall, winterish. Luis Collazo and Devin Alexander, like they about to line them up for the Garcia Brown undercard. Luis Collazo probably would be the mandatory to Errol Spence's belt, but we'll see about that. I don't know how that works. He's number 2 right now. Once the ratings go down, depending on where Kell Brook falls at, I think he's going to move up, but he's number 2. And I would like to see him get Luis Collazo out the way for a stay busy fight, just so he can get 2 voluntary fights. But he gets a voluntary, and if he fights, Sean or whoever, Sean Porter, Timothy Bradley, Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Matisse maybe, because none of those guys are in the top 10 or 15 of the IBF besides Luis Collazo. And the top 10 of the IBF is very, very weak. Very weak. The only name there is Luis Collazo. That's has a reputation of being a solid fighter. But as far as Keith, man, I hope they make this fight happen next. Hopefully Keith can come back by December. They can get it on, or the top of next year. But a lot of fighters tend not to want to fight in the beginning of the year, because after the holidays they really want to get their dates in before Thanksgiving, then come back in March, April-ish, and start back getting in shape. So hopefully this fight happens in December. We know after the first 2 weeks in December, like boxing is basically over with for major fights. So, them 2 weeks before Christmas. So, if it's not made by then, it'll probably be sometime next early spring or in the summer. But, as far as the fight, it's a mouth-watering fight. Keith will have to hold his ground versus this monster, Errol Spence, at some point. He can't move around forever. And he likes the front run. He comes out hot. He will have to be able to give Errol respect early in the fight. He has good feet work, but Errol is great at cutting the ring now. And Keith likes to do a lot of uneducated movement in there, just unnecessary movement as well. And you can burn a lot of energy versus a guy like Errol who gets stronger during the fight. But it's a good fight. It's a pick 'em fight. Depends on which side of the line you're on. But, I'm not going to talk about it for too much. Then, Errol keeps going, And in respect to Kell Brook, he's a real fighter. So I'm going to defend the belt against whoever, whenever, whenever, and unify the division. Brings me to basically, he wants Pacquiao, and the funny thing about the Pacquiao situation is that Bob Arum says Errol Spence is a terrific fighter, but he hasn't earned a Pacquiao fight. Like, what the fuck? Pacquiao hasn't earned an Errol Spence or a Keith Thurman fight. Let's keep it real. He's living off popularity in the senior citizen cars at 7-8 Sports say. He's living off that. He living off past reputation. He's still a good fighter, but at the end of the day, nobody worried about him. He holding a WBO hostage. And guys gonna want that belt once Errol and Keith unify. They gonna want that title belt. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be up to Bob Arum to see if he wants to put him in there with him. But I bet he doesn't want to put him in there with him. I predicted that after he fights Terence Crawford, hopefully it's after the Indigo fight in November or December, that which will top off excellent 2017. He fights Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford beats him. He retires. I think after the Crawford fight, there's nothing else for him to prove. Win, lose, or draw. Draw may be a rematch, but win or lose, drop the title. You know what I'm saying? But people, Bob think everybody's still checking for Pacquiao. Yeah, Errol Spence would like to fight him, but he's not about to keep chasing down somebody who don't want to fight good competition. Pacquiao, Cotto, man, I'm just tired of these guys in the sport. Get out, hand the reins over, do it past the torch fight and get it over with. But then you got Terence Crawford here, saying he quit again. The weight starting to kill him. He quit. Congratulations, hard-fought win. I see what y'all don't see in these fighters. Okay, you see what you don't see, and I'm pretty much thinking he's talking about Errol Spence. Okay, if you see something, man, step up, man. Fuck the Indigo fight. I understand Undisputed is good, and I'm with it. I want you to be Undisputed champion because it's something that doesn't happen or occur every day or every year or every so many years. It's hard to get all these champions to put their belts up and collect all them belts. But if you see something, man, step up and say you want to fight the man. He's a champion now. You called out Keith Thurman. You say you see something in Errol Spence. That's why I'm thinking this is implies. Step up and fight him. He's looking to make another fight. He gets a voluntary defense. Make the call. Make your promoter make the call. Just like Kell Brook doesn't get any credit. He told his promoter they wanted him to move up. He said, no, go make the Errol Spence fighter at any cost. I'm a real fighter. Is Terence Crawford a real fighter? Or is he a motherfucking keyboard warrior, Twitter fingers, man? Make the fight happen. If you see something, move up now. Don't be out here throwing subliminal shots if you ain't ready to move up. And I don't want to hear if they do fight and Errol Spence knock him out. He's too small. He was a junior welterweight. No, he talked that shit. He said he's seen something. I'm tired of these top ranked guys talking shit about these PBC guys or these Showtime guys. And, they talking shit and they really want to dance in circles and they know Bob Arum not going to let them fight them. Get an order to your general and make the fight happen. Talking all this shit. Oh, I see something. I see this. I see that. Well, throw them hands. You know what I mean? Sick of all these subliminal shots. Let's make it happen, but we gone.